Home ground for Clutch Gaming, a ground that they have experienced time and time again over the regular season. It is time to see whether they can prevail in a victory versus a weakened IHC, who are starting things off with full Kevlar.
Yep, and right on top of the hut, Mara will go, the coach standing in and getting in their faces, but it will end up being a disgrace. 3 kills quick in for Clutch Gaming as they take control of this pistol round. Blitz still trapped in a door, so it means that they can't get this plant down safely until Imagine deals with that. 1 on 4 for Bartak, now just peels the 3.
Oh, starting off strong, at least gets a quick few headshots, knows that he's going lower and lower, and Imagine isn't feeling too healthy either. One Way still has about 3 seconds left on it, so Bartek can at least use that time to start straightening out. Imagine right below, elbow spotted, but he's got the nice uppercut to knock him out. 3 kills for Imagine in the pistol, and he is glad he got them because that became dangerously close.
Yeah, almost making it so that Bartak gets his 4K. That was a very awkward affair there for Clutch, because I think as soon as they got that 4-on-1, they started to feel a little bit too comfortable. Then, lo and behold, Bartak made it interesting. So a good way to start, you know, a very pacey pistol, didn't overthink it, didn't overcomplicate it, just went out, guns a-blazing, and, well, you know, we talked a little bit about in the pregame about how Mara might be a weak point, might be something that is targeted. That's not exactly the most confident showing, but at least, you know, you saw a willingness there for him to get physical in that pistol round.
And that is something that, you know, on maps like Nuke, if you're playing positions such as Hut, there's a lot of interesting things you can do with just weird pushes and this and that to try and catch some timing windows. Timing is something that doesn't necessarily escape you just because you haven't been on the server and playing. And so, like the position for him, I guess. Looks like Annihilation might have been on the money on that one, but can't quite land the shot through the smoke. Meanwhile, both Blitz and Mara in position to try and defend out from vents and lower combined. Mara does travel back towards Mini just to make sure that he can at least get a bit more spam damage in with the 5-7s. Make sure that no one's close by in particular. As long as they don't give up control of Mini, Blitz should at least have a funnel coming over to him. And with the Deagle and how good he can be on it, this is very much a doable circumstance. Mara getting ready to be flashed through the smoke potentially. Blitz will just be holding on to that, but instead of trying to contend down lower below, it is going to be outside where Annihilation spots out the first. 910 tagged up.
As well, the tag, so technically will collect on the frag. Hasteka does at least get one trade back, but it's pistols galore spurring in for action. IZR and 910 now put into an awkward position, crunched in from potentially both sides. Blitz is moving in from the hut flank, and we'll find a timing. 910 pulling knife out, and IZR spotted on the bomb site. So nade sailing in, decent damage. Annihilation might finish off the job, but Izer, a great opening kill. 1-on-2, made it just 1-on-1, and Annihilation spotted, jumping out from the heavens. It just needs to land the tag and you'll get it. A no-scope to finish things off. It's another 1v1, but this time IHC don't let it escape them.
Full team ace coming out from IHC as well. Blitz could have denied the team ace just by getting that second shot, but uncommonly just spams away on the Deagle. That's not something you see very often from Blitz. Fortunately, they are still able to run away with it. I thought it would be scarier because Annihilation didn't have head armor, of course, courtesy of the fact that he bought up the Scout. So even the Glock could have just been deadly with a quick headshot. So reload or not was a real chance there, but they will end up winning out. Clutch Gaming, entering the pathway of the Scout, ends up falling by the wayside.
Already a little bit of a knock to the confidence as well for these post plans here for Clutch. Even though they won the pistol round, you know, it being clawed back into a 1-on-1 when they had a 4-on-1 advantage. These aren't situations that are going to be too pretty, and that can weigh on you as you get further and further into this series, because you can't afford to be making mistakes like that against an IHC that are going to try and capitalize on every single one of those, and often will. They are the big bad wolf of the Mongolian region.
Grandmaster Blitz is going to be waiting once again in secret. Feels like they're being very comfortable just abandoning outside to a large extent beyond some mini presence, as long as they can have Blitz down below. Annihilation will pick up another one. Meanwhile, long range from heaven, the A1 being put to excellent use, and Following it up, just making sure there's no one too close by. Blitz has been overrun. Hasteka to take him down. Bartek does respond elsewhere on the map, but it's Hasteka who continues to rain down havoc and terror. Tyranny of Lower will continue. Does not have the bomb, though. That is on the back of 910, who is so far away that Hasteka seems like he'll have to do everything on his own.
Riding above him, and so while he does some damage, he cannot finish off any more kills. A nice hold, all in all, here from IHC. A team with a lot of bravado. You know, we saw at ESL Pro League, they were talking a big game. You know, coming off of a Katowice where they surprised and upset the South American region. They beat Pain and Fury in a lower bracket run. And to beat both those squads, I think was more than people had estimates for IHC. Fury obviously going through a weird time, but then they also beat Cloud9 in the main Katowice event, placed higher than them all in all, and I think that extra confidence helped them out a lot when it came to the ESL Pro League, where they struggled to get wins, and the only team that they did beat was EG, but they weren't very happy with that result. I think Annihilation was even quoted as saying, well, it was just EG, which, you know, I think definitely had people talking, and you know, people love to use EG as a punching bag, but to have an Asian team do it and talk that smack against you when Asia's not been the best represented in the past, you know, definitely has a stigma attached to it as far as unorganized and having the mechanics and just not making it as far as other teams. It was I think it's a nice healthy step, you know, be the villains even to other regions.
Yeah. No, plus, look, if we're being perfectly honest, it's also the first time we've had Asian representatives who are, you know, this fluent in English and whatnot as well, right? Because generally it's been Tyloo, it's been the Chinese teams who don't necessarily all fluently speak English to the point where they can trash talk in the same way. We know from other games and other titles like Dota and League of Legends and whatnot, Chinese trash talk and Asian trash talk in general is unparalleled. You know, they've got some fantastic memes. But unfortunately, Counter-Strike just hasn't quite had the same translation yet. So it is going to be Mongolia that, you know, sort of brings out the first tears in North American eyes.
Yeah, and unless I guess unless you get one of these sort of Pan-Asia teams, you know, I'm thinking of like an N8T really. Unless you get one of those teams breaking out, you know, Mongolia is kind of your next best bet because, you know, they're expanded, they be growing out there.
Making Genghis proud.
They got a big old statue of Genghis in Ulaanbaatar, as far as I'm aware. Well, not in it, but not too far away from the main city. First gun round here for Clutch against the IHC defense, and it's already a casualty net. 910 as well will join his teammate in spectating the rest of the squad. 3-on-5 now.
Oh, that's a tough way to start out. First 15 seconds and you've already lost 2. At least Mara's demise will give them some solace. Blitz is also low. He switched out Ops with the Annihilation rifle instead. Techno covering off Stardust, comfortable on the timing, who tried to catch the clock himself, will instead be clocked out by Techno.
Yeah, filing in a punch card, and he definitely had some more hours left on it. Don't know if that his employer will be too pleased. This 2-on-4 is difficult, but not impossible. Only 2 that will greet them at the bomb site. Imagine had the right idea, but while his imagination is healthy, his hands don't do the shooting for him. Hasteka, though, very sharp to find these 2 kills. Nade won't do enough to finish him off, and Blitz is low HP, so committing to a flank is Barzak, and he's relying on him to hit the shot, but Hasteka too damn quick, and now that smoke down. Oh, Blitz! All he needed was a USP bullet, and he knew it. So close for a Hasteka clutch.
Hasteka looking very snappy, I have to say. Very, very snappy. I know I'm listen, Michael, I'm not a man of logic and science like you are. I'm a man of feelings, not facts. That Hasteka didn't place a score rumor. I mean, the better Hasteka plays in my head, I was like, oh, this is confirming it.
It makes
He's so
more
good.
and more sense as time goes on, right? Once upon a time, playing with some of these guys.
Ooh, Mara and Techno holding down the line. Not a single casualty against the Eco. And with Tech9's on the other side, that is a lot more impressive than I make it sound.
Yeah, I mean, Mara just went in full confidence for that, even got partial blinded, but was not scared. And again, dropped off the hut to get in their face as soon as he realized that the main brunt of the attack was there. He wanted the info. He wanted that extra kill, which is, you know, maybe Mara won't get punished. You know, played about as many years as a player as he has coached. You know, I think started mainly as a coach. I think assistant coach is a title I remember him holding. And then decided that he wanted to play instead. So, you know, he's been on both sides of the scene.
Went to the seat. Okay, that's...
Yeah, you know, when you're a coach, you're behind the seat.
Yeah,
When you're a player, you're in front.
you're on top of it.
I guess, yeah, that's more.
Like, he has been the monitor and the coach. Both are showing a vision of Counter-Strike, in all fairness, so, you know. Not that much difference.
Yes, make it a real philosophical point.
I'm enjoying the fact that Blitz has been reinforcing the lower side of the map so much so that they don't need to focus on rotations. Techno's generally not a player who likes to play those rotate spots to the same extent, and Mara, obviously, you know, I think it's better to prioritize a single angle or two if you are a stand-in who's not that used to playing. Just make sure you've got, like, your A's right. You don't need your BCDEs.
Yeah, even him standing middle floor on the A side. Position, but Spam will hit the mark. Stardust tried to reciprocate, but they cannot stop them from getting down those vents. That's where Blitz's position will be that much more important.
Oh, Annihilation's gone and found Imagine as well. Blitz continues to rain down, as he will once again just be unstoppable down in the lower bomb side. Feels like Blitz has been contained only once or twice, and even then doesn't actually fall. Keeps himself alive long enough to contend for the clutch so many times over.
Yeah, I think when we think about an IHC Nuke, Blitz is one of those players that is very proactive. You know, you mentioned that he's reinforcing lower, but he can be an absolute nuisance on just outside holds in general as well. Guy is sharp, and showing his positional prowess once again for IHC was there to greet them as soon as they broke into B. I think a timeout called here from Clutch. I think some brainstorming needs to be done. Because right now, these takes haven't been the most convincing. You know, the best look at it we've had is a hasteka, or hasteka 1-on-4, effectively, and the pistol round.
Yeah. Some pretty memories, but even so, they still end up in bad situations.
Yeah, doesn't change the facts. 6-1 is the fact.
And I have a feeling it might go to 7.
Yeah. Hasteka is at 7 kills, and he's got an AK for the Clutch side, so he's decided that if there is going to be a way into this round, he wants to be a front part of it.
Is this a one-way Techno throwing? I don't really get it. He's thrown this exact same smoke multiple times. I
think Mara threw one just like it, like in the previous round, so I am a bit confused.
Once is a mistake. Twice? That's on purpose. Annihilation, though, that was 2 mistakes. We don't count those. That's through the smoke. Doesn't matter. Grenade lined up, beefing up. Blitz will be tenderizing, and he's got another one in the meanwhile. Doesn't want to stop, not quite yet. Flashbang being primed, or at least being considered. But the problem is he will hear it, and Bartek's proximity makes it all the more difficult. Even tried baiting out the push through the smoke with the reload right there.
Yeah. Important as well that Annihilation, even though he didn't get as many kills as he was maybe hoping for, he got confirmation on a lot of numbers there for Clutch. That's why Blitz decides to deploy the utility, because he knows there are more players where that came from.
Bartek's getting ready to be the second point of attack. Blitz wants to spot them out initially. Bartek wants to trade, but the spacing is excellent. He's been trapped in, but in a rock at a hard place, and they're all coming down. The walls are closing in on him. He realizes a rotation already coming over. Mara's found 9-10. Annihilation contains him and prevents him from walking up the ramp.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. It's all falling apart, but the bomb dropped. Techno still has control of it, and Hasteka got his hands on that AWP. Doesn't have enough time to really rotate round, so has to try and find the angle. Oh,
Hasteka.
God.
seconds. Techno knows he's got time on his side, but hasteka with the bomb plant coming in from behind will at least give himself a chance. All the opportunities that he has availed so far, and this is the greatest of them. Techno from the side is outplayed him with the sound cues. Oh no, not like this.
So close and so well done from Clutch. You know, a man down, they crept in, they cleared the right angles, and isolated those duels pretty much flawlessly. And then when it came down to finally pushing in through ramp, you know, there's a lot of missed shots there from Annihilation that are capitalized upon. If they had rerouted quicker, or I guess realized their position, they actually might have been able to almost escape towards that A bomb site with a secondary player, but didn't know where Techno was, and that ultimately felt their demise.
Is he gonna do the same smoke? No, he just wants to get ahead of it.
I think they have.
That was definitely a
missing
mistake. Yeah.
Because the Mara one I thought was just a miss. The Techno did it, and I'm just like, wait, is he just doing that to make Mara feel better?
Don't worry, Mara. I can miss too. Watch.
I don't know if you're happy or sad about that. If you're a coach.
Like, my coach senses are tingling, but also I do feel better.
Yeah, I am disappointed, but also reinforced.
Mara's retreat could not be more timely there. Dodges that all the spam.
Now, this is a bit weird. No one lower, no one's reacted. I don't think there's information really that Clutch have navigated their way down to that lower site. And with that being the fact, they attempt to split B, but they have to get past Annihilation first.
Difficult man to beat pass. hasteka tagged up through the wall. There's still one more that they have to contend, but it's Bartek who's not able to hold down the line. One Mara needs to find the frag on Imagine to allow his teammates to have a rotation. Mara! Maybe hasteka doesn't have space in this team. Mara wants to keep this spot, it seems like. Flashbang going in deep as well. Mara wants to keep it going. 910 is getting confused around the corner. Is forced to step up, and 910 will shut down Techno. Blitz now once again on the Clutch. This time, one of the few disadvantages that they've actually had in a situation like it. Blitz's retreat will give him another one-on-one at the very least, but Stardust wins it out. And Clutch will find their second round and the first gun round that they've actually been able to capitalize on.
Yeah, I tried for a different setup on that CT side there, IHC, and there was a gap towards outside that was exploded. So Clutch, identifying the fact that they have these players in the right position to actually get into this B bomb site was a very solid call. A little bit of a misstep there from IHC, but they are trying to mix things up. Prettiest thing for IHC there was Mara's pre-fire. Came around shooting like...
That was really hot. Honestly, that was
like
hot.
a Harry Potter spell, man. Just pre-fire us, delete us.
Avada Kedavra!
Yeah.
I was negotiating on whether I should say whatever.
Swishing and flicking that one.
Oh, imagination. Well, just imagination, not imagination. That's a different player.
But two players found by Annihilation's AWP being very mobile, got one at ramp and then immediately went outside, and they fell right into it.
At least utility's running dry for the CT, so maybe there's room for a quick tippity-tap into transition forward, but that's just so much to ask for. Grenade is looking good. Stardust is looking dead. And now, well, hasteka's been spotted out as well. Annihilation's here to cover. 910, the only one left. And I don't know if you've heard the phrase, Michael, but 910 is a big fat hen.
I've never heard that phrase. In
Really?
fact.
Okay.
No.
It was just a nursery rhyme. Like 1, 2, buckle one shoe, 3, 4, shut the door. And it ends up with 9, 10, a big fat hen.
Oh, hen. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I thought you said head. And I'm like, well,
No,
that sounds like a weird nursery rhyme. But a very mobile round there from Annihilation. Bartek, of course, the traditional ramp player. And, well, he doesn't give up that control for free. Never left. Wouldn't let Clutch an inch. This is looking just about as good as you would have expected here from IHC. Even with Mara, you know, solid work in not only holding down his spots, but has been able to get at least his 1 or his 2, and that's about as much as you can ask for. But playing and positioning himself in the right position, as you would expect a coach to do, you know? Try and beat them with your brain, not with your brawn.
Right now, bronze does seem to be the plan, even if this is slightly, you know, wiry strength with the Tech 9s and the lot. They're just circling back to head in for a quick A-pop, and Techno and Mara are honestly in great positions for this. These flashbangs become so much less effective when everyone's focusing on a close, squeaky angle, but Techno's turned around. The timing is perfect. Stardust and hasteka shut them down on the entries now. Locked out of the bomb side, flashes to follow through. Molotov does go awry, but even so, bomb's been planted and they are happy campers.
Setting up for retake utility, they are not backing away from this one, even though there's an argument to be made to save, and with Stardust getting that kill, suddenly it looks like they might regret their decision to have committed to this. It's a fully won round on the pistol buy. There are a couple rifles spurred about there for Clutch Gaming, but the A site goes awry for IHC.
Oh, fantastic timing. Right when Techno and the company were just turning around for the flashes and whatnot as well. I don't know if they were hearing sound cues of that coming through. It's very possible that the HUD player, I think Mara, might have heard the sound cue of the flash being thrown and asked and let his teammate know. And when they turn around, the hit just comes in. They find the perfect timings. There you have it.
Yeah, pretty bare bones, but enough to brute force it.
Phones hurt, as it turns out. Be careful, there's 2 angles to deal with, and he's not able to get away. hasteka shuts him down. Missed shot means that the marshmallow will be his end, and I'm not just talking about some sick beats.
Very fast on his rotation, and they should be aware that Blitz is here. Imagine as well having presence over the single box, and while they do hold for Blitz, they are chewed back down to simply 4. It does dodge the nade and the Molotov respectively. 910 got his kill eventually in from hell, and the flash Blitz is such a nuisance. Finally, 3-on-3 once again, but bomb still yet to be retrieved backside lobby, and that makes it awkward for 910 to link up.
Blitz is a bully, that's all. And right now they're bullying out Laser as well. Stardust wants to be here to reclaim his fallen brother, but that's a reclamation that doesn't last for too long. 910 has had his off spotted out as well, but with the bomb as far away as it is, this seems to be a nearly impossible round for him to even attempt the clutch in. Problem is that the farmers of Techno has repositioned in a manner that is completely unbeknownst to him. So 910 has to check everything and more.
Great call from Techno to just give up the bomb there. Many players would sit on top of it, but also has to realize that by hanging around, he isolates himself. And so 910, he has to reinvestigate, and he must consider that Techno is nearby enough.
Down, plant right in between it. Techno will not be going for the spam. We'll wait for 910 to be backing out. Just make sure he can get the round out rather than anything else. I don't actually know if they saw the bomb. I'm not sure if you were watching the map, but I don't think Techno went outside lobby, and that's what you would have needed to do to spot the bomb, if I'm not wrong. So regardless, great play coming out from him. Patience in the face of a depleting clock is always commendable.
I think the important thing is that every single one of the players from Clutch had been accounted or spotted for, and a very traditional spot to drop the bomb is backside lobby.
100%.
So, either way, positionally played it perfect, and a great call from IHC as well when they were contested outside. They pressured lobby, and that's where Mar got physical with Techno alongside him. Set up his young star for success. And talked a little bit about Annihilation, talked a bit about Score, and how they were maybe some of the 2 heavy hitters, especially in the more recent tournaments. That is certainly the case. But Techno was the one that I think has been the more consistent over the long period. Even at such a young age, he seems to be able to, well, hit just about as hard, even against some international teams. Very weird position to be in if you're Clutch, your pick in the series, and your best looking rounds have been these low bursting rounds. And it's not exact, or these low economy bursting rounds rather, and it's not exactly like those are super repeatable. Every time you make a mistake like that, or you let one of those rounds slip up, you expect the other team to, you know, get better at holding for something like that. You know, the counter utility will be more present. They'll take less of these duels. Try for it.
Well, Techno's dodged out the flashes this time, but still can't actually find the frag. Too much time taken to reset. Mara in the meanwhile, who's pushed through, might not be expected. And indeed, Cassius is there with a smoke in his hand, and now with sight reclaimed, they have to try and proceed forward and shut him down. Stardust has 2 and 9-10. Not to be left behind. Annihilation brings it back down to 1. hasteka's demise makes it a 1-on-1 between Opper. Scope has been heard by Annihilation. He knows where 9-10 is on the other side. Leg spotted out as well, just a foot. And he wants to peek forward, but 9-10's patience will prevail. Annihilation wasn't aware of how low the player was. Might have wanted to switch out to the pistol otherwise and running down. But great clutch from the Opera of Clutch.
I think a very nice call as well from Clutch Gaming. You know, I was saying these bursting plays have been the best look that they've had thus far, and they decide to use something very similar in sort of bursting into that A bomb site. Double flashes through door into main, and it's a very awkward engagement because suddenly you've just got them swarming through hut, where door is usually one of the main attack avenues. Down the pistol or IHC, and sure they have one M4, but with Bartek getting overrun over at ramp, that does give access for this bomb to make its way through to B, and Magnus while siphoning rotates, and they head stack. That's not pretty.
Yeah, guys, this isn't train. I feel like that's a good idea, but not quite the same passageway.
Yeah,
to try and explain.
Not as tall.
Yeah. I think the player above, like, you need to crouch down, and even then I'm not sure if, like, you see the head.
Oh my god, spam is decent.
They're just looking for damage. Annihilation and Blitz surely don't feel like they can go with this. There's no kits on them either, and losing out the weapons here is just tragic. They will not have a single rifle headed into the next round. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, they should have tapped out. And I thought after they recovered the Galil they were going to, but no, they didn't consider, didn't back down. Just a snapshot decision, and that could have gone completely pear-shaped. They ran through a smoke to break past Bartek in at ramp. You know, they ran with very little utility, and once you see that smoke down, I think they just fully disrespected the fact that there could have been a buy behind it. Bartek will try it once again, but this time nobody will chase straight through that smoke. Deploying so much early utility on the CTs, and so Clutch will wait things out. They know they should have the better buy. Could be dangerous. I think Blitz heard the scope, and so doesn't matter. Just simply clear it. Now, wow, flash
Nice
is perfect.
flashbang. That's a really good one. Like, if anyone wants to go into the server, download the demo, check it out, you can do it. And I would recommend that. That was really nice.
They know it's pistols. They know they're gonna play all these cheeky close angles.
Good flashbang, but he's going to wait so long that it won't really matter too much beyond that. Mara tried to come through from behind hasteka. Just wondering how they got a third CT in there. Turns out team switching might have already happened. hasteka still, though, will finish things off. 6 and 9 Clutch Gaming. What a recovery coming out from them. Their CT half looking a lot more doable now, but we're going to have to wait to come through with it until after this short.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
On next, little baddie, cashing big checks. I bought the whole block out, now that's a big flex. Peeping out my Uber window, like what's next? Got new levels and new devils out the wazoo. Ain't no worries, life gets better when you find you. And if you mind you, peace will abide and hide you until it's time to start anew. So live it up, we grown, ain't got no curfew. Who brought the bad vibes? Tell that bitch move. Walking all in my ear, now that's a bitch move. Pressed that I arrived, mad that I survived. All your sad attempts to send me to the sky. But I've been in the wind, been had wings, I was always this fly. Oh yes, and that's probably why you're mad. Don't let Evie turn you into a trash bag. Soak it glad, find out why you sad. All that jealousy, you should subside. I think it's time to turn that mirror on you. Put it up close for a clear view. And look deep down inside. And soon you will find a pretty soul that needs more shine. My world has come to test me, my Mobb Deep will have you shook. It's a marathon, but baby girl, never let up. No need for speed, but keep your foot up on the gas pedal. Ain't worried about having a golden award when God made me to be an ice cold meadow. Why are you always pressed about my life? Talking with your frenemies about me, saying, ooh girl, have you seen it like the shy lights? You tried, but you could never dim my light. Please know I'm untouchable, girl. I'll slip through your fingers like a real fly kite. Why you wanna turn a good day into fight night? Constantly projecting all that negativity. Take that bad energy and go and get your mind right. Say a prayer tonight to keep it so tight. You in the big world of danger, cause you dwell in that drama. I put the work in, now I got the big bags that you call Birkins. My world has come together.
wake up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue?
The bar raising, we keep moving it up. Ain't no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I got faith restored, why you pushing the brakes? I ain't full of myself, boy, I'm full of mistakes. I came from humble and roots, I'm here to stand and deliver. Had no one gassing me up, except the man in the mirror. I used to work on my handles, and now it's handles of liquor. I write these songs in that dark room, the candle will flicker. I stay practicing heavy for when the game's on the line. It's like over and over, I run the plays in my mind. I'm a psycho, I'm taking my time. Rushing perfection is a dangerous crime. You gotta give it and take it. That's what you do till you make it. I had to roll with the punches and take the hits from the flagrants. I'm saying the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. An off game don't mean I'm losing my touch. And no excuses, I ain't using a crutch. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch. I was falling, had me stalling. I was way down, now I'm balling. I done came up and I called it. I done came in the clutch with the game on the line. I know I operate from a higher place. Wait, some decisions don't try a race. I'm doing what I can to fuel the flame like a fireplace. To make a bunch of money, buy my mama a fireplace. We make incredible songs to celebrate and get mad lit. Once upon a time in Hollywood, I'm like Brad Pitt. My homies say I live a life, yeah, just a tad bit. Learning how to move in this rap shit. I told them that the bar raising, we keep moving it up. And no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing too much, but I always came through in the clutch.
A scoreline that perhaps should surprise you if you've been watching since the start of the game and checked out for a few minutes, but Clutch has indeed brought it back to 6, and Bartek has indeed lost almost all of his life.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage at the start of this round, down to 2 HP. Certainly looked like it could have been a dominant half from IHC, but you are right. Shoes on the other foot now. Clutch have an opportunity to help bridge that gap with this pistol and maybe even sneak their way into their lead. This is their map pick in the series and one that they played a lot in the regular season, but a very slow grinding pistol here from IHC. They're hoping Clutch make a mistake.
Seems like Clutch has no plans to, though. Just staying put in their positions, waiting for the push to start coming in. Blitz, the one with the flashbangs and the grenades and the smoke is probably not the best candidate to be jiggle peeking in from HUD. Now, though, there it comes. They started moving through. Stardust is low. Flashbang is what ends up killing him. That's an A kill you're not expecting. And Izza has to pick up the pieces, but instead he will be in pieces himself. Tried out for Bartek's barely existent life, and Blitz and Annihilation will keep things in advantage. 9-10. Already having one out of Clutch before. Will not be able to deny the bomb plant here. It's a smoke dissipating. What a round from the man himself.
Yeah, perfectly done there from 9-10. Small gap in that smoke, and as it was fading, Annihilation was a sitting duck, and he read exactly what Blitz was going to do as well in the post plant. Just tried to run him down and take advantage, try and find a trade, but 9-10 keeps his head about him, keeps it cool. That flash kill was a very strange surprise to have, but a welcome one, I'm sure, for IHC. It almost actually had an influence on how that round panned out. You know, that man advantage that they held in that post plant. Had it been a safer position on that plant, it's almost impossible for 9-10 to find these isolated fights. He just didn't know if he was coming from heaven or from main. No info.
I think this might be a technical, but even so, I am curious to see whether IHC buys up over here or not. Force buys are something that they have found a lot of success on before as well, but very often they will just go for just a couple of eagles and the like when they've got the bomb plant down. So curious to see what direction they opt for.
I kind of reckon it'll just be a save into buy next. You know, I think especially if you're going to have, you know, especially on T side, when we're talking about the influence of not having one of your stars and having a coach having to stand in for them, it feels like T side is actually sometimes more awkward, because then you're trying to set up for potential trade off this guy. You know, Mars looked fine from a mechanics point of view, but just in sort of sending him in first or going for entries will be quite difficult to do, and I imagine they want to try and set up for some of their tactics that they've been working hard on. You know, they've had a couple international forays that have looked quite dangerous. They've taken wins off good teams. They've eliminated good teams from some of these events, and I think there will be a reliance for them to use what they've worked on.
I would also like to point out that Blitz over here, I think the HUD, because obviously, guys, this is a custom HUD from ESL and everything, right? So it doesn't take into account some certain extreme circumstances. I guess, like when a player kills themselves by, like, you know, disconnecting or like in a vault or something. But it actually shows that Blitz had gotten a kill in the round when he disconnected, which I just thought was kind of funny. Like, how will I bump up my stats? Well, type kill in console.
Wait, what? That he got a kill?
Yeah, he got a kill.
Oh, right, I see.
You know the little one with the circle around it that pops up next to the player name? Yeah, that was popping up for him. But he is back, and hopefully we will be able to resume soon, and he can get some kills the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, that was the reason he wide swung 9-10 in the 1v1. He was lagging. No excuses. And a few mistakes there from Clutch Gaming, but one that doesn't really strike true in losing them the pistol round. So they have won both pistols, in fact, this map, which some will say means that you are pretty much destined to win the game. Others will argue against it. I think IHC have definitely looked like the better rifle team, and they do go with your buying decision. They go with a force, and they've got a decent amount of rifles around it, but lacking some utility. But a full wall of smokes outside will help keep eyes distracted.
The double play into ramp will be very difficult to pull off, though. hasteka caught off on the timing, and they have to consider the fact that they should be a play boosted. Stardust lines up 2! Could have been 3 with an M4, but instead they will have to suffice with just a 3-on-3. Imagine makes his way over. M4 at the ready, nestled into a corner. Will be checked and cleared, but not brought down. Mara unable to do the damage they needed, but the bomb is planted. Annihilation is at least given them that much as a guarantee. Bartek waits around as the jump spots for the MP9 will at least reveal his position. 910 as well will be known. Bartek didn't need to dodge that, but does it anyway. Wants to keep it going, but 910 trades. Annihilation. Rifling has been a bit of a forte for him. Fantastic on it, but can he find the frag? Imagine's got head armor as well, so it won't be an easy kill. And with a flashbang out in his hands, ducks it forward. Annihilation baited into the peak, and Imagine can win out the one-on-one with barely enough time to get the defuse as well. Remember, he didn't have a kit, so if Annihilation had just waited it out, maybe even now not having it, just on the nick of it, gets it done.
Yeah, so close. When he heard that flash, he knew that he wanted to take that fight. He didn't have much health rather to play off of that duel, and so taking a straight up fight was almost a death sentence there for Annihilation. Sure, his rifling has been strong, but tried to catch him when he couldn't even shoot back, but got the timing wrong. And yeah, if he just bought a couple more seconds, if he had worked off sound cues, might have been able to squeak that one away.
For the flashbang.
Yeah, it's a hard position to be in, a very, very tense position as well. I could have anticipated that he had a kit as well, but of course we knew that he did not. 8-9, and IHC buy once again. We'll have some utility sail outside, and wall of smokes that will try to be capitalized upon. This first one was deployed much earlier, so there will be a small fade as they cross, and Annihilation gets caught because of it.
Missing out the time in the spam for the second, but Mara's not feeling too good about himself. Imagine good for the spam right back through the door. And already IHC are bleeding out players. Techno hasn't fully cleared this angle, so if he isn't wary about it, this will be a problem. A real big one. Lower bomb site can at least have the bomb plant secured for it, and Techno's watching out for the rotate potential that could be coming their way. As soon as the doors are open, that's when Techno has to be worried about the activation of ITR. Will find the first frag and now maintains position inside hut to try and threaten. But the rotations are coming in from ramp initially. Good grenade from Bartek will be forcing hasteka back. But in the meanwhile, Blitz has fallen. Imagine getting the frag and Techno's nowhere nearby. Trying to close the distance. hasteka is watching the back lines, but Techno, he's making a fair bit of noise. He needs to win out the duel straight up, but hasteka's got the jump on him. Bartek all alone. A 1-on-4 and nothing to do here but try and pray, and prayers will simply not be answered. 9-9 an advantage in the economic department as well for Clutch Gaming.
Solid work. And they're a team that have to function around a stand-in. Imagine one of the players that is... I mean, he is still a player. I think that's the big advantage that he has for the Clutch Gaming side, but he's not their traditional fifth. Tamir, I think, is somebody that I'd always attributed as being the caller for Clutch Gaming, but we saw a decently constructed T side. CT will be where most of the work has to be put in, though. Came to this half trailing, and so far so good. I've been able to combat these force buys that IHC just continue to go for. Galil's a common thread so far on the attack. This time that wall of smokes will be deployed a little bit more on the fly, and this time they're going to try and work for an L block. This is a good counter reaction. Playing above it. Stardust, 1 kill first. Annihilation dead, and Bartek joins him. In fact, he's joined by a teammate up here as well.
Some joinings are worse than others, though. Blitz, around the corner he goes. Imagine. Angle where he will be spotted out initially, but IZR is there on the trade. Great crossfire will at least give them the advantage. And 9-10 unexpected as a secondary outside player. Stardust, who'd repositioned back to heaven, is going to end up being taken down. And Techno's giving himself a chance, but one he cannot capitalize on. Once again, Clutch Gaming winning out in the, I say it, clutches. Looking worse for wear right now in IHC.
Well, down we go. 3-on-4, and Stardust is there to greet them. Annihilation finding one, and Techno, in fact, bringing it back down to 2-on-2. Bomb can go down, no one close enough to stop it, and they don't have a smoke that can be deployed to delay. This wasn't a round that they were thinking about winning too wholeheartedly. Came in with limited investment, and now could just, well, damn win it. Got a lot of retake util here on Clutch, though. No Molotov, but a couple of smokes that can help isolate duels, but they're split. And 9-10 down is a big deal. IZR could even justify saving.
Not anymore, though. Wants to keep on going. Annihilation's position known. A grenade to the back as well. Door closed up. Smoke down on the bomb. Time is running low and out. Annihilation spamming inside. It will connect and bring him down. So despite bringing it back to a one-on-one in a situation which seemed doable, Annihilation will not replicate his mistakes from earlier with an preemptive, premature peak. Will instead have patience and win it outright.
Yeah, nicely done. Line up the spam, even though it was kind of off-axis for the defuse. And a very close shave. And a good way to justify all this investment that IHC have been making in previous rounds. You know, they couldn't get it done on full commitments with Galils, but this time, a few more pistols about him. Finally able to crack in, buckle down. No lead to be stolen away. Clutch got a small sniff at it at 10, but IHC right up there with them. You see how tumultuous all these rounds have been. It's reflected in the Clutch buy. They've been winning them, but only barely. So they're down to pistols, unideal weapons, and UMPs and Mag 7s.
Wants to creep through. He's got the first eagle, but doesn't realize there's another player right behind him. What's going on here? IHC's lost control of the communications, and Bartek is the only one to try and recover. Stardust unaware that there's a player so close. Blitz had not revealed his position just until now, letting his teammates die if need be, but at least he can maintain the necessity of silence. Mara, forget silence on the part of Blitz. It's all about Imagine coming in for the flank. He has a real opportunity to upgrade his weapon, but Mara, oh, so very aware, but not quite aware enough. Mara will also falter.
Yeah, Imagine doesn't get greedy as well for that AK. Had he done so, he would have been completely trapped. They came back to try and greet him, stop him from pursuing on that flank, and he reads it well. Still that man advantage.
The lack of greed might still come back to bite them. Devon not great at these ranges.
Got a
Even
molly.
from
Good
Will they be using it though?
Spot it.
Imagine goes through it. Oh, he's wasted so much time. He's running off for them. The bomb can still be planted. Blitz can bring it off. Bomb planted. 2-on-2. hasteka to recover the AWP, but IZR's gone. hasteka on 12 HP. Surely he saves.
Yeah, and he won't even really toy with the idea of going in. Won't even zoom. Could have stuck around, could have tried to claw it to a one-on-one. It's all well and good. IHC beat past what was a bit of a scary opening to this round. Losing one round of smoke. You know, you talked about the fact that Blitz didn't reveal himself inside a garage. He could have been the one that actually addressed this player coming into trade. That might have been why there was a bit of confusion there for IHC, because they were double grouped front garage inside of that smoke, and if one of them dies, you know, you're expecting the other one to trade. No, Blitz played a more patient game and almost left his teammates out to dry, but comes back and is an important piece to tie a bow on that round in spite of the awkward nature of it. Still with that AWP that saved on 9-10, I do wonder whether or not he is going to try and get physical with them or play more conservative in hopes and anticipation of a buy to come.
Oh, well, good for the first one. It hasn't lost out any HP on it either. Remember, hasteka does have... Oh, whoa.
Huh?
It's going to be really dangerous over here. They think they've taken down a player, but they know it's not the AWP. 9-10 still spamming away, dodging out grenades. And remember, IHC over here, one of their big objectives is to make sure that they do not lose all of these weapons. They have consistently been brought down to these low numbers, meaning that Clutch is always a breath away from making this a legitimate chance to come back. Also, why does Stardust not have a weapon?
He made a mistake. He dropped his gun, I think, hoping that there was a pistol underneath him, and now his USB is too far away to pick up.
Mistake that might come back to bite him. They are just playing containment at this point. 5-7 recovered. IZR to trade, be the trade rather, and Stardust coming in from behind. He's got the one, but he can't get the second. AWP has been lost as well. Mara, the only player to keep himself alive, and once again, that does put IHC right at the limit of economy.
And a Mara 4K to make sure that they get that one over the line. That is far too close for comfort if you're IHC. And Mara, their coach, you know, he's in the server with them. He knows how awkward it was, but I imagine that scolding nature, if you're going to be a coach, doesn't leave you when you're thrown into situations like that. Still holding on to this game, albeit barely. After his heroics last round, he is greeted by Imagine. He catches bullets for it. I do want to know if that is just a common trend or if that's just confirmation bias. I feel like that happens so often where someone just wins a crazy clutch or a close clutch and then they die almost immediately afterwards.
Stardust has information of all of these players, and it's been called out. Clutch are set up for success, but it has to come off the back of Hasteka, who's had a slightly quieter performance in the past few rounds. He's had his moments, don't get me wrong, but not quite the same level of, 3Ks, 4Ks in, but unfortunately losing the rounds that we've seen from him earlier on. This will be his chance to step up once again.
Move here from 910 ahead of the smokes, ahead of the Molotovs. Hasteka takes first contact, and 910's there to try and alleviate that pressure. He's revealed himself. Annihilation swinging for that duel, but they combine their efforts, and it is a cluster of clutch players. A fantastic read, and a great move there from 910 that made even more space for all those players on the rotate. Almost a flawless defense there on the B site.
I've got to say, Stardust is doing an excellent job on outside, save for the one round where he got overrun by Blitz and his shenanigans. He's been getting all of the information, generally doing a decent job of staying alive as well. And yes, this is a round for Hasteka and 910 to write home about 100%. But it wouldn't have been possible if not for Stardust's information that he's able to get just by being a chill old dude back in left side garage.
Yeah, just a sentry, just acting as an observer for all of that.
Those are very different kinds of words, I'll have you know.
Yep, okay, man. Not everybody cares about MOBAs.
Oh?
But I do hope 910 is mobile with his AWP. We saw Annihilation get up to his antics, both bouncing between ramp and outside. You see 910 start, this time holding for outside, but Stardust still has control of it. It is a double setup on this particular swing, but 910 decides to go wider. He can't protect Stardust this way, but he can at least trade him.
Blitz could make this very difficult for Stardust. He just wants to take the peek forward, quick little tap on the head, but didn't quite work out the way they thought about it. Blitz will insist to go for trades, and trades are working out for the CTs. Deagle of Bartek is good, sure, but rotations over here are there already. A triple rafter setup, and Bartek is feeling the noose tied around his throat. 12-12, and Clutch are not letting go of this.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest there from IHC, but tried to make it work with what little they had coming into that round. Glocks, I think a singular rifle that they can operate around, and so Blitz making that investment, they tried to set him up for success. To limited avail. That little main drop bait set up there for him was nice, but it also gave them a firm read on what to expect from the rest. That's why we even saw players switch out to their USPs at those long-range duels. 910 didn't want to just only AWP. If he missed, could be devastating. IHC, what do they opt for now? They've been doing a lot of outside pressure, outside attacks, but then sometimes subverting expectations. We haven't seen any of these upper takes, which I think is something that we noted for Clutch Gaming, actually doing quite well at sort of getting at least even trades. It was often getting a handle of these rotates and trying to read where the next positions were exposed from. You know, that's where they sometimes lost out in these post plants, especially if they had numbers advantages. But IHC have yet to commit to anything too quick, any bursting presence that was a real boon to the Clutch side. Utility. And right through the smoke, Mara's out, but the rest of the team die before he even gets a chance to greet them there. Annihilation's 2 kills will be all they get.
IHC are crumbling. They are falling apart over here. And where Mara was up, you know, he's doing all right over there on the CT side, but I do think that you pointed out as well, accurately so, T side was where the presence of score would be most missed, and especially the positions that he was playing and how he was able to, you know, sometimes play entry pack, but also sometimes be able to have much more of a Jam Young style of lurking play as well, depending on what the team needed. Mara just cannot be expected to have the same flexibility.
Also means that there's more pressure on Blitz to be a part of the pack as well.
Yeah.
Often a nefarious guy.
Good night.
Doesn't do as much as you would have thought, but does pepper up each and every player, so the fact that some of them have head armor will be dismissed. In spite of the good nade, all of Stardust spam misses the mark.
A little bit unfortunate, but you can't have it all unless you're 9-10, and you are going to have to have it all if you don't just want to be overrun. Khalil shouldn't be doing too much to him regardless. The Deagle on the first peak. 9-10 re-peeking back over, and he's been brought down. 9-10 will be regretting it. Blitz to shut him down. Bartek finds another one, and now the curse of the low prize might be coming back to bite Clutch as well. hasteka, however, still on the side, will drop the bomb, and inside the smoke will find the solace of Bartek's life as well. 26 is all he's got, and he speaks out regardless of it, trying to buy space for his teammates to rotate. What's going on over here? Blitz is forced to re-smoke out the bomb. And Stardust, oh, he might be able to line up the Sam again. Will do so, revealing his position. Blitz is going for the no-scope inside the smoke.
What?
Just shuts him down there. Grandmaster Blitz is playing with everyone right now.
Oh my god, and he's read 2 moves ahead, just like you're supposed to. They've gone A, he thinks it's a bomb plant B, and IZR realizes the mistake that he's made. A great re-navigation here, and an awkward clutch now for IZR, but they've got money in the tank. He'll try for this.
I don't think he can find it at all, but it doesn't seem likely in the slightest with Blitz's position. 3 kills and 2 fantastic calls. That's practically an ace.
Yeah, I mean, really, really well done. You know, this time, no one getting caught on the spam or the cross. You know, there was an awkward timing at one point or another on one of the previous buys where they threw one of the smokes for the wall much earlier than the rest of it, and so it faded. You know, they were down to a 4-on-5, and Clutch started to get a better idea of what was going on. But this time, they don't make any noise crossing down, and so the rotates get there late. Clutch has been able to get in the right positions because of the info they gather. This time, that was lacking. Now down to, again, Mag 7 in Imagine's hands, and while he didn't find success last time with it, right? Okay, well, no, ends up the same, empty-handed. I was hopeful for him.
Well, hope is for the weak. And Clutch Gaming, unfortunately, might end up being categorized into that group despite a stellar performance on a few of these players so far.
I think that's what we noted from their previous playoff appearance last season over, is that they had close games, but close don't get you wins. Not always. Go through a pretty rough field of opposition, and Techno, a lovely shot, only brings that advantage further into the favor of IHC. Double grouped at ramp and Stardust on top of garage. This is a free A bomb site, but one that is not going to be heavily contested until that flank is exposed. 9-10 dealt with. Blitz repositioning and anticipating maybe even a push from outside, but this should just be a save with the remaining 2 on clutch to try and stay alive.
Blitz wants to hunt though. He doesn't spot out the player. He knows he's there, but he doesn't actually register at Stardust. Continues to be sneaky on outside, finding the necessary kill. Techno brought down as well. And now sort of the T side decide, maybe we don't hunt more. We need to keep our money healthy as well. We're not quite so sure about this. If Mara can find one for free, then sure, that's nice, but don't necessarily put all of your resources, all of your might into trying to take these CTs down.
Well, Mara is leaving himself very exposed for these Zuis, and I think just realizing that he didn't want to get too close to that bomb radius wouldn't help him in that fight. Oh, almost dies as well. It's all fine. It's all calculated. It's all a part of the grand plan. And right now, IHC are poised to position themselves up to 15. Money's not great here for Clutch, even though they saved those 2 weapons over. And so now a tough decision has to be made. Do they allow IHC up to 15 so that they go into a better looking buy in the next round? Do they even justifying like a half buy here could make sense? Because therefore you'd be able to get maybe a set of MP9s, FAMASs, even scouts in the follow-up round instead of just being on bare bones pistols. There's an angle. And they decide to go the conservative route. Might even try and save these M4s again.
I think that might be for the best, considering their loss balance on 2400, right? That's away from rifle territory if you lose these 2 weapons. Stardust. As good as he's been, he needs to be even better if they are to get something out of this round. Knows it, but the pressure gets to him. Too many angles that he has to contend with. Blitz to find the kill. Bartek to find 99 points of damage taken out from his life. Okay.
Well, Blitz took the ult from Annihilation. I'd have to give that over to Bartek. 3 on 4. Hasteka have been bouncing between the 2. Does find another one, and so both these M4s have found the kills that they were looking for. It's about whether or not they can capitalize even further. Imagine did clear close, but Hasteka doesn't anticipate another push. Imagine trying to retrieve that M4. Could actually grab his hands on it. No one's holding.
He's much more concerned about giving up the angle of the Zeus, it seems like. Doesn't want to go for something that's impossible. But now, round is becoming increasingly possible. Mara's demise makes it this is effectively 90 HP that you have to deal with. And even then, one of them is going to be looking a little bit deadly. Bartek threatens from behind, but he cannot stick around for too long. The upper bomb site is looking tantalizing. Blitz now left on a single point as well. It's a double 1-on-2. IZR. I don't even know if it's possible to spam that with the USB, but in case it was, that would be the way to make it. IZR's been left alone. Blitz has got to get the headshot over here. IZR's not going to be checking out on Hut yet, and as soon as he does, Blitz gets it with a spam. Not even the headshot, the full spray. 9-10 doesn't know how damn close he is to winning this round without even having to lift a finger, but he will have to at least do the very bare minimum to both these players, but instead... And M4, a flashbang, and Bartek's got the timing somehow between the 2 of these guys. They've got 5, all 5.
That is... I don't think I've ever seen a round like that. 2 players surviving on 1 HP. 2 great chances to bring in a man advantage forward. And then they could have just outwardly won it. That is ridiculous. And still 2 survived there for IHC. God, that is scary. But Blitz is having stellar impact on this T side. Fortunately for us, because he disconnected, we get to see all of his T side influence completely isolated.
Blitz. First one, keeps going forward, spots out the feed, and imagine has never looked so footless. Stardust as well. Inside the smoke will at least be extinguished by the Molotov, but Techno wants to go in with the flashbang. Are they going for a knife? No. That's Stardust trying to run away with his own knife. hasteka, in the meanwhile, been naded. It's collided with him. They know what's coming over. hasteka all alone. Nothing to do but wait. That's all he's striving for. And they know they've already won the round. They know they just want to run him down. And there you have it. IHC, the takeaway clutches map pick.
Yeah, fantastic work, and especially in those last few rounds, it felt like Blitz was finally done with all the shenanigans. It felt like there was too many things you had to be worried about. In